Welcome to another episode of Edtech Table Talks, where we discuss best practices for technology integration. Today we have Dr. Bedford, and she is here to discuss how she incorporates the one-to-one devices in her classroom. Can you tell us a little bit about how you incorporate the one-to-one devices?
I incorporate one-to-one devices in a few ways. One, of course, assessment, of course. Remediation, tutorials, games. Those are my common things. I like to put everything as a one-stop shop. So students are able to, if they miss something, they can go to Canvas and get an instructional video. They can get completed notes, principal notes, extra reviews with answer keys. Sometimes I have them upload, like if they're absent, especially during the pandemic, they have work, I may have missed something, they can upload it and communicate with me that way also. I like to use games, of course, I do. We use those sometimes as a review. Sometimes it's practice, and then sometimes I use it just to get feedback, period. Like if the kids are quiet, they're asleep, they're on their phones. Okay, well, let's try to get some information. Let's communicate. And, we have those kids that are shy and don't want to talk, don't want to ask questions in front of other people. So that's when I like to use like Pear Deck, because then I can click on something and say, hey, you know what? Give me an answer choice, A, B, C, or if you have a question, give me your question. So that way I can get both sides. I can get, hey, do you get it? Do all my students have the right answer? Or you have those kids on the side, Miss Bedford, how do I tell the difference between? How do you know this? Why did I get this wrong? And then that lets me to communicate with students that normally might not ask a question, and at the same time get information from students. Of course, engagement, you like kids to have fun. You want them to have a sense of success. So I use that through games. And, due to the pandemic, we've had a lot of people to come out with more and more type of games. So I try to use that to kind of shake up the class sometimes, give a little competitiveness, but also let the kids work and I can get some feedback.
So you teach pre-cal. Can you kind of tell us how you determine when you're using the one-to-one devices and when you're not? Because I know for a math class, they're not doing every single thing on the computer. So can you kind of tell us how you balance things?
Okay, most of the time, I'm old school. I like paper pencil. That's what I like. So a lot of times I like to teach it. Then the next step is, okay, let's do some independent practice. Let's see how you're doing. Then I like to get feedback. So normally, write it down, show me your work, let's go through the work. After we've done that, and I can kind of say, okay, they kind of get it, or maybe we need a little bit more practice. So normally after I've gotten some kind of feedback, normally on paper or something like that, then I'll use technology just to kind of shake it up or to do an extension, especially if you have those kids and I just don't get it. Sometimes those kids, they need like a game or something just to help get them to the next point. And so I guess just that level of I want to be my friend, sometimes it, makes them want to go a step further and, okay, I got it. I want to beat you now. So now they're engaged. They're trying to work on math and, play with their friends. And then another thing is, I know sometimes kids get sick and tired of paper pencil. And so sometimes just, they're tired of the whole monotony thing. So sometimes if I notice that we've been doing the same thing for a few days, like, practice 1, practice 2, then I'll throw in something on the one-to-one devices just to kind of shake it up, see if I can get them re-engaged, remotivated.
You are a participant in the virtual learning walk. Can you kind of tell us about how your lesson went with the one-to-one devices?
Okay, so for the learning walk, I wanted to get some information from the kids first. So I did Pear Deck. So with Pear Deck, basically it's just a list of multiple choice questions. And I try to answer them, or I guess ask them in a variety of ways. So I wanted to get some information, kind of like a warm-up, so to speak. Warm up, okay, trying to fix those little errors that they're making. And convert to radian. Convert to radians. Convert to radian.
Professor, how do you convert in decimal? How do you convert the decimal answer to a fraction again?
When you have your decimal, you're going to look over to the right and you should see a fraction icon. So, for example, I'm in scientific here. My fraction button over 180. And you see there's a fraction icon to the right of the decimal. Make sure you're in scientific. Does your screen look like this? Look like this?
Yeah.
You can type in your answer or you can ask me a question. Okay.
And then after I did my quote unquote warm up, so to speak, now it's time to practice. And so again, I like to practice or review for only a few minutes, and then after that, I can look at my data and I can see the percentage of accuracy, attempt, or whatever. And then based on that, I can say, oh, okay, well, we struggled on these topics. We struggled on these concepts.
So you're going to go to bluekit.com/play. Your game ID is 337899. Okay, so we're going to start.
You're a horse.
I'm a horse?
I don't want to hear.
No, I'm a bird now.
Birds are
No,
I'm a bird. Ready to catch the tail?
What the?
I don't know what you're talking
Okay,
about.
Okay, so as usual, I'm just going to narrate and say myself.
You know what? I don't want to hear it, guys. I'm being bullied.
How are you?
So it's moving so fast for me. So, okay, so Marcus stole from Cody. Andy stole 319 from Cody.
That's good.
Then well,
He
Patrick,
deserves it.
no, Patrick swapped with Cody.
Okay, good reason.
Sarah swapped with Patrick.
Yeah, I am pretty understandable. You're correct.
Kristen stole 344 from Patrick. And then Katie ended up coming swap.
Bro, I hate this.
Okay, y'all just being real, cool.
Welcome to Water Contact.
Alyssa stole 678 from Patrick.
So then after that, then I leave time for student questions, and then I can work out problems and address their concerns. So,
Okay, my lovelies, look, for those that missed it, remember, it's gonna be on the negative side, and it's negative 240, so I'm gonna look all the way, I'm at negative 240, and it was signed, so I want the second number, just like on y, square root of 3 over 2. Okay, my lovelies.
So my learning walk was like a warm up with Pear Deck, got some information, got the kids, going, answering questions, practice. And then we reviewed and practiced with Bluekit. Now, Bluekit is a game system, not a game system. Well, it's a site that has a lot of different games on it that you can pick from. Some of the games are more fun than others. And so my kids like the Gold Quest game. And basically, they can answer. But what I like about this game is you never know who wins, The kids answer. They're playing at their own pace. Then, when they answer a question, they get an option to pick from 3 gold chests. Now, they don't know what they get. You can get something positive, like double your score, triple your score, increase it by 25%. Or it's a negative outcome. You lose your score. You basically lose everything. Or they let you swap points with somebody else. So literally the kids are playing and swapping and earning and losing until the last second. And so we never know who wins. So I like it because the kids are working at their own pace. They're interacting with their peers. I'm able to walk around. They're always engaged. Walk around, answer those questions, tackle them as if, am I doing it right? Why am I missing it? I can do all of that at the same time. And then we get a winner, the kids are excited, and then now I have time, and they're already motivated. I have time now to go back, answer the questions, or say, hey guys, you did a great job. I like what I saw, you know. So it's just an all-around good thing, you know, like who wouldn't want to do that?
And so with that game, I know that they're competing and it kind of drives them to want to do better. But with that game, how do you actually set it up? Do you go into the game and you just put questions and the correct answers, but you give your students some type of handout or something where they're looking at a problem and they have to work it out by hand? Can you kind of tell us what that process is like?
So normally when I create, you know, we're all on time crunch, you know. So normally I find something that either is already multiple choice, and I put the question in there. Most of the time I do a picture. I put the picture in there and I select what the answer is. Now, with this particular topic, they needed to reference a unit circle. So they had a unit circle for reference, and then they had their own paper for scratch. Most of the time, I don't give them anything. They just have scratch and calculator. But at times, if you want, well, for me, if I want them to give me a little bit more, make it a little bit easier, I try to give them a little hint so that we can get more accurate feedback, you know, like, okay, they may know how to do it, but they don't know how to start it, or, you know, something like that. So for the learning walk, they had to reference a unit circle. So that's what I gave them.
And can you kind of describe at the beginning of the year up until the point of your learning walk, at the beginning, did you have some kids that were hesitant, that didn't want to use the devices, but now they're all in based on the activities? Whatever the case may be, can you kind of tell us how it started versus how it's going now?
Okay, so how it started, we're coming off a full successful year of virtual teaching. And some kids did not have a good experience. They didn't like the videos, they didn't like the setup, they just didn't like it. So at the beginning of the year, I tried to explain to them the setup of my Canvas. I tried to make it a one-stop shop. So I tried to make everything easy to use. Everything is dated. Everything is going to be kind of the same format. Here's an instructional video. Here are printable notes. Here is your assignment. And then if it's anything extra, like an extra answer key, an extra practice, I put it there. Then on the Canvas homepage, I have again, here is boom, here's your extra credit. So you want extra credit, you hit the button. Hey, you missed a day, you want the notes, you go to notes. So everything is one-stop shop. So they kind of got used to that format and how it's organized. So they were more inclined to just boom, I'm gonna go to module, I'm gonna go to the date, there's my assignment, I got it. Then when it comes to the games, you know, of course they're just like, what is this? I don't know what this is. However, when I do it one time and I ask them, well, did you like it? And then they'll say, well, yeah, kind of. And then they kind of let me know what they didn't like about it. And so I try to take their feedback and plan for the next activity. But I think the more that we do the activities and they get used to it and they know Ms. Bedford's going to tell you ahead of time. Ms. Bedford's going to listen to your feedback and make an adjustment. So now it's kind of like, sure, okay, we need a device today. I got it. Ms. Bedford, you know, I didn't bring my charger, but they know I'm going to have a charging station. We have kids that share chargers. So I try to make everything user-friendly. And so now they're just kind of used to that. So now our environment is just like, okay, Ms. Bedford, we got a game today, or we got a period. Okay, well, let me get my device. Let me get my notes. So they're more inclined to do it. And it's not, you know, it's less, I guess I don't have to really fight them on it anymore, you know?
What tips can you give teachers who may be hesitant to use the one-to-one devices just simply because of classroom management issues that might happen with the devices?
Well, with that, I'm going to say, one, definitely plan. I mean, you know your students, but we know where we can get them, you know? They can always adapt to new things. It's how we give it to them, you know? So let them know, hey, this is something new. It's something to help you. It's something that we can do again and have fun, you know? Sell it to them, you know? Make sure that you're organized. Make sure they know, where can I go to charge it? Where do I go to access the game or the activity? How do I know? You know, maybe do an FAQ maybe or something like that, but get feedback from your kids and then take that information and adjust it. I like to tell kids where to go, where to put it. If this happened, do this, do that. Now, I've taught a variety of skill levels, grades, topics, and so for me, again, I've had the same thing from freshman on. Organization, telling them what they need to do, make sure that they have what they need to be successful. If you have an activity in mind and they don't have a pencil, they don't have a calculator, they don't have a book, they're not going to be engaged. So make sure they have what they need to be successful, and more than likely they're going to get on board with you. And you can't look like you don't want to do it. You have to look like, hey, I'm excited, I like this game, I want to play with you. Sell it to them. And I promise you, they're going to return your vibes back, your energy back. Then those kids that you might not, well, they're not going to do that. You'll be surprised. A lot of these kids are gamers, and they like to sit behind a computer, play games, all that kind of stuff. And you may engage that student, and you know what? You may have a student that can go figure out a better way to get it. Or, Ms. Bedford, I found a better way to get an answer quicker. You just never know. But try it, and then take the feedback that you saw. Take the feedback from your kids and then make an adjustment and keep trying. These kids, this is what they're used to. And we as educators, we have to change. We have to make a difference. We have to get them. We have to sell them. It is doable. I've done regular classes. I've done co-teach classes. I've done it. And I'm telling you, I might not have always used an online game, but we did old school. We did board games. We did games with whiteboards. We did scavenger hunts. We did balloon pop games. It works. Get them engaged. Sell it to them. Give them everything that they need, and I promise you, they're going to give you something back that's positive.
So as we close, I have one last question. Would you want to go back to a few years ago before the pandemic where your students didn't have devices at all?
I'm going to say no. I wouldn't want to go back because I see the benefits of it. And I see how times are changing and how kids' attention spans and engagements are changing. But I would like a balance, you know, because sometimes even the technology, sometimes they get tired of doing that and they want something else. Or you have those kids that must, I like it, but I still like tangible. They still like, you know, like a paper review or a paper homework assignment. So I definitely think it's needed. I definitely think that's the direction that we're going, so we should follow. And I think it's an extra tool in our educator toolbox. And so, no, I wouldn't want to go back to using without it, but now I want to learn how to integrate it more and then still keep my old school flair and just kind of mix it up. Bye!